In the last chapter, our protagonist caught a glimpse of his wife, Rosa, stepping out of the bathroom in a stunning dress, looking absolutely radiant. Now things are about to get even more unexpected. As Rosa walked out, she smiled sweetly at Leon and casually asked, "Where would you like to do it? The living room or the balcony?" Leon froze, his face going redder than a chili pepper, his mind total chaos. "The balcony? No, not good. People might see us." Rosa, completely unfazed, sat in front of the mirror, holding a piece of paper. "Then the living room," she said, as calm as ever. "It makes no difference where it is." Leon sighed in relief, thinking he'd dodged a bullet. With the confidence of a man who'd completely misunderstood, he stretched out on the sofa like he was about to watch a game. "All right then, let's get started." Rosa blinked, confused. "What are you doing?" Leon froze mid-stretch, looking like a deer caught in headlights. "Wait, weren't you talking about Tat?" Rosa, now fully composed, raised an eyebrow and said, "Mr. Cosmode, you seem very excited, but tonight is not the time. Let's save it for another day." Leon shot up so fast he nearly fell off the sofa. "Cough, cough, wait, what is this about 10? With a perfectly straight face, Rosa handed him a paper. "These are test questions for the Viviparous Families program at St. Heath Academy. They're about parenting habits and compatibility. We need to prepare, or we might mess up the admission assessment." Leon stared at the paper like it was written in ancient hieroglyphics. "Wait a minute. This is just a couples quiz. What is this, some kind of compatibility game?" Rosa gave him a look that could cut glass. He cleared his throat, awkwardly muttering, Okay, what's your favorite color?" "Black," she replied without hesitation. "And yours?" "Silver," Leon answered, trying to sound cool. The room fell into an awkward silence as they stared at each other, expressions tense. It was the kind of stare-off you'd expect before two cats started hissing. Both Leon and Rosa, thoroughly embarrassed after their matching answers, quickly looked away from each other. Rosa awkwardly muttered, "Just a coincidence," while Leon, just as flustered, echoed, "Yeah, totally, coincidence." Trying to shake off the awkwardness, Rosa confidently picked up a feather pen, twirling it with dramatic flair. "Let's test how well we know each other, properly this time," she declared, as if challenging him to a duel. Leon glanced at the stack of question papers and shrugged. "All right, let's do this." For the next 4 to 5 hours, the two of them huddled over the questions, firing answers back and forth like it was the ultimate battle of wits. By the end, Leon leaned back with a smug grin, holding up his paper. "Looks like I scored higher than you. Guess I know the queen better than she knows me." Rosa stared at her own paper, her thoughts swirling. He even noticed my little habits, like how I sit and position my tail comfortably. How is he so observant? She crossed her arms, deep in thought. "Well, I've always kept things to myself. It's only natural he'd get some things wrong." But as she continued to steal glances at Leon, a flicker of warmth crossed her mind. Maybe, just maybe, this person is someone I can. Leon suddenly noticed her intense gaze and panicked. Why is she staring at me like that? Is she mad I scored higher? Breaking the tension, he burst into laughter and clapped her on the shoulder. "Ha ha! Don't feel bad, Rosa. We just haven't spent enough time together yet. You'll catch up." Rosa, caught off guard, blushed and snapped out of her thoughts. Avoiding his eyes, she slammed the papers into his face. "Stop talking nonsense and focus. Write down the correct answers." Leon, still chuckling, pointed at one of the questions. "By the way, you got this one wrong. You said, 'You've never been disappointed in me.'" Rosa crossed her arms defensively. "No, I wasn't. I was just disappointed there weren't enough D-Dragon grade dishes last tea time." Leon's jaw dropped. "From now on, I'll eat dragon grade food for every meal. Don't forget it." Rosa smirked, her tone teasing. "I'm looking forward to it." The night before the entrance exam, they went over the questions one last time. Leon held up their results with pride. "After a week of hard work, our average score is over 80 points. We've got this in the bag." Rosa, utterly exhausted, flopped onto the bed with a relieved sigh. Leon stood gathering the papers. "All right, if there's nothing else, I'll head back." As he turned to leave, Rosa grabbed the back of his shirt. "Wait." He turned, puzzled, as she pointed towards the bathroom. "There's a bathtub in there. Go take a bath and come back." Leon blinked in shock. "A bath? In your room?" Rosa, her patience wearing thin, started pushing him towards the bathroom. "Just go and wash up when I tell you." "Hurry up!" A few moments later, Leon found himself sitting in the steaming bathtub, shirtless and confused. "Why does she want me to bathe here? Is she planning something weird?" Shaking his head, he tried to relax. "No, she's just been stressed about the exam. Nothing strange." Sinking into the warm water, he sighed blissfully. No matter what, just enjoy the moment. This feels amazing." As Leon was soaking in the hot water, Enjoying a rare moment of peace, the bathroom door creaked open ever so slowly. His heart skipped a beat as Roswisa stepped inside, wrapped in a towel that barely covered her figure. His eyes widened in sheer shock, and it felt like his soul was about to ascend to the heavens. Roswisa, unfazed by his reaction, gave him a calm yet mischievous look. "I've been feeling a lot of pressure lately," she said, her tone soft but suggestive. Just as she spoke, the dragon mark on her chest began to glow faintly. "And for those of you in the know, you know what that glow means." Leon's face went from relaxed bliss to pure dread in a split second. He thought to himself, "Oh no, what I feared has finally come to pass." Awkwardly scrambling out of the tub, water dripping everywhere, he stammered, "If you're under pressure, why are you putting more pressure on me?" Roswisa smirked, her teasing voice cutting through his panic. "By transferring my pressure to you, I can feel relief, right?" She winked, stepping closer. Leon backed up instinctively, his awkwardness reaching new heights. But before he could think of an escape plan, Roswisa let her towel slip, her confidence radiating. "Besides," she added slyly, "didn't you come here with this mentality just a few days ago?" Leon's eyes darted everywhere except at her, his mind racing. "I can't refuse this. But how did things escalate this fast?" Roswisa leaned in, her gaze locking onto his. Her hands gently but firmly rested on his shoulders, pushing him back into the tub. "You can't run away," she whispered with a playful yet commanding tone. "Just surrender." At that moment, she traced her fingers along his jawline, her dragon mark glowing brighter. Leon, completely cornered, was left with no choice but to accept his fate. What happened next? Well, let's just say even I didn't get to see the full scene in the bathroom. Guess some mysteries are best left untold. The next day, Leon, Roswisa, and their daughter Noah walked toward the grand gates of St. Heath Academy. Leon glanced at the towering structure, nodding to himself. "So, this is St. Heath Academy," he muttered, a mix of awe and mischief in his voice. As they stood side by side, Leon leaned toward Roswisa with a teasing smirk. "What's wrong? Didn't I help you decompress last night? Didn't expect the effects to wear off so soon." Roswisa's face turned red instantly. "Go to hell," she snapped, smacking Leon on the back with enough force to make him stumble. Unfazed, Leon chuckled and gestured toward the academy. All right, let's head inside before you take me out here on the street." At the reception desk, a staff member scanned through their documents, speaking without looking up. "Noah K. Melkve, Shilpa Dragon Clan. Age, 1 year and 3 months. She finally looked up at the small girl and then at Leon and Roswisa, her eyebrows slightly raised. "Is something wrong?" Leon asked, his voice calm but carrying an undertone of authority. The receptionist quickly shook her head, a nervous smile forming. No, it's just, well, the academy usually enrolls young dragons aged 4 to 6. 1-year-old is..." "Impressive?" Roswisa, visibly annoyed, crossed her arms. "Noah is exceptionally smart. Her age is irrelevant. We respect her choices, and you should too." The receptionist nodded hastily. "Of course, please proceed. A staff member will guide Noah to her written test, while the two of you can head to the 4th floor for the home assessment." A short while later, Leon and Roswisa found themselves seated on a plush sofa in a spacious meeting room on the 4th floor. Across from them sat 3 examiners, their expressions unreadable. Roswisa leaned close to Leon, her voice soft but amused. "What do you think? Do they look easy to deal with?" Leon smirked, his tone equally low. "Easy? If this were before you captured me, I'd have taken their heads in 50 rounds. Roswisa gave him a sideways glance, her expression both impressed and slightly exasperated. Leon, grinning to himself, added internally, "If they dare deny Noah's admission, I'll settle it with my sword." The examiners exchanged glances, one of them thinking, "These are some imposing parents." Finally, the elderly examiner sitting at the center cleared his throat and introduced himself. "I am Walter Wilson, the vice principal of St. Heath Academy. I will be overseeing your assessment today. Please, don't be nervous, just relax and answer our questions." Leon and Roswisa exchanged polite smiles, though both their laughs came out a bit forced. "Of course, Vice Principal," Roswisa replied, her tone composed. Leon, however, thought to himself, "This old man doesn't seem simple. Nothing weird better happen here." Walter glanced at the papers in front of him and then asked, "Do you remember when your wedding anniversary was?" Both Leon and Roswisa froze for a moment, their eyes locking. In unison, they thought, "This question, we knew it would come up." Their minds flashed back to a moment in Roswisa's room during their preparation. She had been leaning on the bed in a rather captivating dress, while Leon sat nearby, looking both focused and flustered. "If someone asks about our wedding anniversary, how should we answer?" Roswisa had asked, her tone laced with mild panic. "After all, we haven't officially married, and I was pregnant before we tied the knot. Leon had replied confidently, if I were to pick a day that left a deep impression on me, it would have to be that day. Roswisa had stared at him, her eyes narrowing. It's the year 1733 of the creation calendar, isn't it? May 25th? Exactly, Leon had nodded, a sly grin on his face. Back in the present, both of them smiled warmly at the examiners, speaking in perfect unison. May 25th, Leon thought to himself with a touch of nostalgia. That was the day Roswisa and I truly bonded in the dungeon. The vice-headmaster of St. Heath Academy glanced at the papers in front of him, then looked up with a curious expression. Your child is already over a year old, and you've been married for less than 2 years. That's quite fast progress compared to ordinary families. Leon laughed with excitement, puffing out his chest. What can I say? We fell in love at first sight, had a great relationship, and things just moved quickly. When it's right, it's right. The vice-headmaster raised an eyebrow. In your 2 years of marriage, have you discovered any shortcomings or bad habits in your partner? Leon nodded immediately. Yes. Roswisa, however, shook her head. No. Both of them thought the same thing. The answer should be a mix of truth and lies to sound credible. The vice-headmaster turned to Leon. What's the shortcoming you've noticed? Leon bowed slightly, his voice dropping to a dramatic tone. Sometimes I feel like I don't exist. Then, with a sparkling mix of excitement and love, he added, but my wife is so capable. She handles family affairs and housework with perfection. Honestly, it's awe-inspiring. Roswisa stared at him, dumbfounded. What is he even saying? Leon suddenly turned to her, grabbing her hands with a loving expression. But she easily accumulates stress, and I want to take this opportunity to tell her, I'm here for you. Just rely on me more, okay? Roswisa blinked, her face turning red as memories of the bathroom incident flashed in her mind. Is he seriously bringing that up now? The lady examiner smiled, holding some papers in her hand. Mr. Leon is such a considerate and good husband. Miss Roswisa, what do you find most attractive about him? Roswisa avoided everyone's gaze, her face turning even redder. Well, he's handsome, has a good figure, is focused, serious, smart, responsible, and not too greasy. Leon's eyebrow twitched. Not greasy? What kind of compliment is that? Roswisa continued, her tone softening. He's great with children, doesn't lose his temper, and even though my health isn't as good as it used to be, he makes medicines to help me recover. Leon felt a bead of sweat roll down his face. Are you praising me or giving my life a performance review? Roswisa then tightly held Leon's hand and smiled warmly. So I want to tell him, don't push yourself too much. The examiners fell silent, visibly moved. What a loving couple, they thought. After a series of questions, the vice-headmaster finally asked, as a final question, do either of you have something to ask the other? This is an additional question, and the answer must be truthful. Roswisa waved her hand dismissively. No questions. I already know everything about him. The vice-headmaster turned to Leon. And you, Mr. Leon? Leon looked thoughtful, staring upward. Roswisa shot him a quick glance, thinking, the more you talk, the more mistakes you'll make. End this quickly. Suddenly, Leon looked at her with a sly grin. You like the teddy bear I gave you, right? Roswisa's face turned crimson as she avoided his gaze. Why does he always surprise me with his random thoughts? She mumbled, I like it very much. Leon smiled, clapping his hands. Great, I'm good, Ten. The vice-headmaster stood, shaking Leon's hand. The interview is now complete. The results of the assessment will be sent to Silver Dragon Castle via dragon letter in a few days. Thank you for your cooperation. A few days later, a small red dragon landed on the windowsill of Silver Dragon Castle carrying a letter. When Noah's older sister rushed to the window. Sister, the dragon letter is here. Leon, Roswisa, and the children gathered around the table as Leon opened the letter. The academy symbol was stamped at the top, followed by a few details. Leon read aloud, Enrollment, approved. The family cheered. Roswisa crossed her arms confidently, looking at Noah with pride. Leon smiled warmly at his daughter, and Muin hugged her little sister tightly. My sister is awesome. My parents are awesome too. Roswisa turned to Leon and said softly, Thank you. Leon rubbed his nose with a grin. Thank me? It's all Noah. She's worthy of being my daughter. Roswisa walked away, her arms crossed as she teased, I'll make a big meal to celebrate. And you can come help so people don't think you don't exist in this family. Leon's grin widened as he followed her. Okay, I get it. But you really are petty, always holding a grudge. So that's it for today's video. I know I skipped last week, but that's because shorter videos, especially under 10 minutes, don't really get decent views. That's why I waited for 2 chapters to release before making this one. Oh, Merry Christmas to everyone, and of course, and an early but Happy New Year. Thank you for watching till the end. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Let's keep growing together. See you in the next one.